We get back to the college football playoff. Time for a quick sound off. The Cowboys, Micah Parsons, yet to come to terms on a big contract. The question is, will he hold out this offseason? Listen to Micah.
I definitely think I need to be here in camp because honestly, when you're when so much of the defense is surrounded by your play, your presence, and others getting lined up based off of you, I need to be here so that way I can get these guys accordingly. We can rush together, build that chemistry. So I think it's extreme importance that I'm back at OTAs and minicamp and all those type of things.
Graziano, I thought of all the reactions in our meeting this morning, I liked yours the best.
There are a lot of people who think Micah Parsons talks too much. Not us, but there are a lot of people who think his agent is now one of those people. like, stop it, man. Like, you're killing me on the leverage here. We're trying to get a monster contract. Don't be, I'm not going to hold out. I'll be happy with whatever.
Yeah, that's page 1 of the GM's handbook. Say that again, Micah.
Yeah.
but to defend Micah, he's saying put the cheese on the taco early, man. I need to be here to get the team all lined up and everybody right.
Is the best way to get more money to do it sooner or wait until later if you're playing for the Cowboys?
That is true. I get it.
But you leave some risk on the table, right? Injury, all that kind of stuff. And look, Mike, when all is said and done, Mike Tannenbaum, you're a GM in 2 different places. You understand how these things tend to work as well as anybody does. Is there going to come a morning when I'm going to say, good morning, welcome to Get Up? And as of yesterday, Micah Parsons is the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. Is that going to be a day?
Absolutely. And that day, these guys' points should happen ASAP. It's only going to get more expensive. The cap's going to go up. He is a young, bright star, elite pass rusher. Those guys never leave the building. I know he may not be the most complete player, but he could disrupt the game as much as anybody, and he's got to be a Cowboy for the next 5-10 years.
Listen, he's one of the most dominant players I've seen in recent years. His ability to dominate and just move to a pass rusher after being an inside linebacker. How many people have ever had that on their resume that they can line up at middle linebacker, be dominant and be a Pro Bowler there, and then go and put his hand in the dirt full time and still give these tackles who have went against some of the best pass rushers in the game their whole life?
See, this is the stuff Micah's agent wants the team to hear.
Right. We'll take care of that stuff for him. And to be very clear, the conversation, there was a moment in time there where I was calling him Micah Walker or Herschel Parsons because the Cowboys are in trouble from a roster perspective, and one way to rebuild it would be consider the unthinkable, and that is trade away a young player who might be the best defensive player in the whole NFL for a king's ransom of picks, the way they did what Jimmy Johnson did once upon a time with Herschel Walker.
Yeah, I mean,
that's off the table.
At this point, what the Cowboys have said, their high-end leadership has said that's never been a consideration. Now, if they drag their feet signing him and they start to get offers, who knows? But right now, that is not the way they're thinking. They believe he'll be there long term.
Okay. Let's leave that there for the moment. We just thought it was worth your hearing as we dive into the first round of the college football playoff, which begins tonight in South Bend. And there is all the conversation up to see.
I'm excited to see if they're going to put Stingley on Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is their leading receiver right now. He's the guy that's a dangerous threat. I want to see if Stingley can come up and really put up his all-pro type of campaign, keep it going.
One of the great corners in the league. Will he go up against the tight end there in Kelce? Mike T, Eagles-Commanders, huge game on Sunday. What has you fired up for this one?
Marshawn Lattimore, what a great trade by Adam Peters, the Commanders general manager. Went out and got a very physical corner to cover this guy right here, number 11, A.J. Brown. As Bart alluded to, Lattimore for years went at it with Mike Evans, another big physical receiver. I believe this could be a big difference in this rivalry. Can't wait to see this game.
A bunch of us like the Commanders in this one, including me. Meanwhile, Graz, Ravens-Steelers is tomorrow. What are you fired up to see?
I want to see Lamar Jackson muscle up and show the Steelers who's boss here. Look, you are the better quarterback in this matchup. You have the better team. It makes no sense that the Steelers have Lamar Jackson's number to the extent that they do. Here's an opportunity for Lamar to take charge here and win a game he absolutely should win in a huge spot.
All right, so you've seen the numbers all week long, okay? Lamar Jackson 1-4 in his career against the Steelers, 5 touchdowns, 8 picks, and he has 0 rushing touchdowns in those games. We have a tape. This was originally from Sunday NFL Countdown. Your buddy Teddy Bruschi, you linebackers stick together. Put this tape together, and as you describe it here, you were telling me this is exactly what you guys used to do against Michael Vick.
Right, and we got this information from Randall Cunningham. He says, listen, the same lanes that we throw through, we have to run through. So what they do is they distort the view for Lamar Jackson in the middle by always running some type of twist in the middle to make sure that the lanes are closed up. They make sure they don't get past quarterback depth, and they always have a spy to come and make him difficult. And they say, hey, if you're going to run, make him run to his left because he has to throw across his body. So right here, once again, they open up, they present an open lane for him, but they want him to take the trap. And here it comes. Here comes the loop coming around to make sure if he takes the cheese that they have somebody there to make the tackle in the pocket.
So this is what you're saying, that you used to do this against Michael Vick?
We did this against Michael Vick every single time. Rex Ryan would always say, listen, let's distort his view. Let's make him think that the walls are closing in, but it's really sometimes just a four-man rush. But it's distorting him and makes him speed up his process. And then on the first down, I got this stat from Himbo. He says, listen, they blitz on the first down because they believe that, hey, these are rundowns, but there's also man-to-man. What happens when Baltimore brings in all those tight ends and the fullback? When you come in a run game, it invites you to your man coverage who brings you to the run game and makes you get in third and long, and that's when they go zone eyes.
So be specific, because you've played in this defensive scheme against Michael Vick. What specifically does Lamar Jackson need to do to counter that?
Well, they have to throw the ball on first downs because they have to anticipate the man-to-man and make sure that they can get some rub routes. You saw that last week with Philadelphia, who has a similar type of quarterback. But Lamar has to put on the cape. Give them what they want. I understand they have a spy there, but I'm Lamar Jackson. I'm the two-time MVP. Deuces. You saw him last week running against. So you take it off. You hurt his mom a couple weeks ago. What you doing?
Right. Just
take off. You don't have to be sometimes dual-threat quarterbacks want to fight the stigma that they can't beat you with their arm. Who cares, Lamar? Get them exactly what they want. That right there. You don't pay for 1,000 yards.
I disagree. I think Lamar has to.
Of course.
He has to throw him out of that look. And when you look at what he's done this year, 6 touchdowns where the ball's traveled 20 yards or more, you want to run them out of those blitzes and those looks, throw it over their head, make them pay for them being aggressive, Greeny. I think that's a good matchup for Baltimore this week.
But a little banged up at receiver. Rashad Bateman hurt his foot in practice this week, questionable to play. So throwing it over their head might be a little trickier.
Let me get to the Steelers side of this thing, and we could put the picks up here because, does anyone think that the Ravens are going to finally overcome this? Yes, half of us do. Graziano, there's a major factor in this game, and that is that the Steelers will most likely be playing, unless it's a certainty they're playing without George Pickens. And
it is a certainty. He's ruled out.
He has been ruled out.
Yes.
So this is a huge factor, a huge loss for their offense.
There's no question about it. He's their explosive playmaker down the field. They really don't have anybody else that can do what he does. The Steelers are going to want to run it. They're going to want to ugly it up. They're going to want to do something like what the Eagles did to them last week in the second half, which is keep the ball away from Lamar. But that's with no Pickens, it's going to be tough.
So I know for certain that if Rex Ryan was sitting here, because he is my crazy uncle and I sit next to him on Sundays and Mondays, but we won't be able to preview this game on Sunday Countdown because it's being played tomorrow. Yeah. He would say he wants to see Justin Fields in this game.
He's not playing either.
For Fields.
He's out too. He's
Justin
hurt.
Fields is out?
Yep, ruled out. Yeah, he's not playing.
Did I miss a meeting?
No, he's injured. He's not
but Greeny, with that said, when Pittsburgh has the ball, the vulnerability, and I know this is going to hurt Bart, is the Ravens' defense. And their secondary in particular, they give up more yards in the passing game. They're 31st against the pass this year, and it hasn't gotten better. Hold on. And if you look at what Russell Wilson does well, is yards per attempt. It's the facts. It's the truth. You want the truth? There it is. So, to me, that's the matchup in this game that can make the difference, is Russell Wilson, even without George Pickens, exploiting that secondary.
Calvin Austin, come on, we're not afraid of Calvin Austin. Let's go to the first game. The fact that the Ravens had this team under control. It's because Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals and an extra point. Derrick Henry fumbled the ball, which he never does. Listen, the offense with Pickens didn't really go off against the Ravens. Yeah. It was a 16-18 game. It was with the Ravens going for a 2-point conversion to try and win it.
They didn't have a touchdown. Steelers didn't score a touchdown in that.
Right. So they play each other well, and the defense plays better.
I don't know why I picked him. Everything we're saying says the Ravens should win.
I've literally been here every day since Thanksgiving. How did I miss Justin Fields getting hurt?
Abdominal injury, didn't practice all week, ruled out yesterday in the final injury report. That's not going to play.
Rex, we got big news. Here's the bottom line of it. Mm-hmm. Here's the only reason. The Ravens are just the better team, right?
Yeah,
They just are. I love what the Steelers have done. I love how they've Tomlined their way into this situation. Right. But the Ravens are the team that could make a deep run. The Ravens are the one you could see knocking off Buffalo. In fact, they always beat Buffalo. They're the ones you could see going into Kansas City and winning. The Ravens are the ones you could see winding up, taking what has been a somewhat disappointing season and taking it the distance.
Sure. Brady, if Mike Tomlin was right here and he would tell us why did he go with Russell Wilson and his gut, It's because Russell Wilson can throw the deep ball, and that's the great equalizer in this game.
Yeah, but to who?
To who?
He's going to throw to Mike Williams, Pat Freiermuth, Calvin Austin. My point is the vulnerability of this Ravens secondary, which has not gotten better all season long, to me, is going to be the difference in this game, and that's why I think Pittsburgh wins.
All right. Get me Justin Fields on the phone. I need to be kept aware of the